kind of a really strange time right now. This is like kind of, I feel like we're dragging our feet a little bit, but things aren't over, things haven't begun, whatever the heck. We have teachers who are overwhelmed with, am I going back to the classroom? Am I not? We have parents, are my kids learning from home again? Are they going back to school? People who are facing unemployment. There's a bazillion things going on that can absolutely super easily have us feeling overwhelmed and daunted. I believe in the power of our mental wellness. We have one life, we have one mind, we have one body, that we will always have things going on. And this is an exception with what's going on in the world today right now with our pandemic. But our mindset and what we choose to go forward and do with our situations throughout the course of our life really is important. Our mindset is important. And I've talked about in past the aspect of kindness. But today I want to kind of take a little bit of a different angle on what I'm going to label as undercover kindness and how it can have tremendous benefits to our mental wellness, to our outlook, our mindset, and the impact it can have on people around us without them even knowing that we are the ones kind of sending out the rays of positivity and kindness, if you will. So as we roll into this week's episode, my mind started going a little bit in terms of the actual clinical health benefits to kindness. And I'm going to tell you personally, this is something I haven't heard a lot about. I started doing some digging and research and really found some things that were kind of interesting. That when we talk about kindness, a few synonyms that are connected to kindness: humanity, generosity, charity, compassion, right? All super awesome words. When we connect them and implement them within our own lives, there are things that actually internally have benefits. Well, what does that look like? First of all, when we attach to the mindset of kindness, that it actually increases our energy. It is connected to a part of our brain that increases serotonin levels, therefore increasing our energy. Our mindset in terms of positivity is also connected to that, is increased, is enhanced, is strengthened. Because this can also release what's called, in our brains, it's a natural release of oxytocin. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, which encourages optimism, lowers blood pressure, and promotes cardiovascular health. So we can look at kindness as something that, wow, that's a really good thing to do, but also kind of on the flip side of our emotional and physical health, there are benefits. So when we talk about undercover kindness, what does that look like? This is a different angle because it's not something where doing good things is awesome. Being kind is awesome, and it should be an absolute part of our lives. But sometimes as human beings, there's this kind of sticky spot where we sometimes can, without even realizing it or even necessarily pursuing it, expect something back. It's kind of part of our wiring sometimes and can take time to shed that mindset, but it's hard. And even when I've watched, follow a number of YouTube peeps, I've seen things pop up on different forms of social media where people are doing good things. And I think a lot of that is with the intention of spreading kindness. And sometimes it's done to kind of pat themselves on the back. And I'm not here to judge anybody because I think all forms of kindness is awesome. It can have a domino effect. But what I think undercover kindness does, it actually can alter how we look at things. And I'm going to explain that I'm going to give you some examples of undercover kindness where it's doing an action, doing a good, paying something forward without any intention or expectation of receiving something back. None, because the person, the recipient, doesn't even know that you've done anything. They don't know who it was that that spread these kernels of kindness upon them. I'm going to give you some examples, right? And I think it's wildly awesome. I get excited about this stuff. Someone I want you to picture someone right now, like in your mind, thinking about, that's going through a tough time right now. Whether they're going through a separation, they've lost somebody in their life, they've lost a job, the list can go on and on. I know for a fact somebody that's facing some challenges right now. Send them a postcard with something encouraging, and you don't even sign your name. A quote, a poem, a verse, a something. You are awesome, and I want you to know that I appreciate you, whatever it is. And not even saying who it's from. I believe with all my heart there's not enough encouragement and positivity that are cast upon people on a daily basis. I believe we are inundated too often with negativities of where we fall short, without even realizing it sometimes, things on social media, things on the news, where we can just kind of feel tired a lot, or we can feel like we are inadequate. We can inadvertently compare ourselves, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's to other parents, whether it's in relationships we have, whether it be, the list could go on, where we're like, man, I'm just not good enough. I believe the power of casting kindness and encouraging other people has so many tremendous benefits. It's crazy. So one of those things I throw at you is mailing a postcard to somebody that is going through something and not signing your name. Boom, there we go. You could leave it in their mailbox, right? Walking down the street, here's another form of kindness, and you see, there's rubbish on the ground. You pick it up and you throw it away, and you don't tell anybody about it, right? You don't complain about how the heck it got there. You just do it. And so what these things do, it's allowing ourselves to get excited about getting other people excited and making the world a better place without having any desire to receive anything back, without any expectation of being thanked for what we've done. Drop a $5 gift card to someone for a cup of coffee in their mailbox. Whether, that could be at work, that could be in your neighborhood, that could be, on somebody's car windshield kind of thing, with a note that says, go get a cup of coffee, and I wish you an awesome day. Whatever words you would use them. You don't have to use my words. I'm all about some Post-it notes, whether you get your regular white Post-it notes or you're living on the edge and you get your vibrant neon ones. I'm all about some vibrant neon ones. And it's encouraging somebody. It's leaving it on their windshield. It's leaving it somewhere that, you can even put, on a tree, or I don't know, whatever, not to, take away from nature, but, and encourage, you are awesome. You are special. You are wonderful. I want you to know I appreciate you. Anything encouraging, you are amazing. You have made this world a better place. And I know the high school that I worked at, a friend of mine, Jackie, I'm going to give you a shout out here, created a program that was just amazing. And one of the things that they did throughout the course of the year was leave Post-it notes on fellow students' lockers, in the teacher conference areas, and everything was positive, in the bathrooms, in the bathroom stalls, on mirrors, and every single thing had something positive attached to it. And I will tell you, as an adult, when I would see those, they made me smile. And even if it was just, I saw that pink Post-it note and it said, you are awesome, and I knew maybe it wasn't intended initially for me, it was, wow, it made you think, it gets you excited, it makes you feel less worn and more encouraged, and it does beautiful things. It's getting excited about getting other people uplifted and encouraged in a way that it really can have a domino effect. It's this kind of whole pay it forward without anticipating anything back, right? And it's kind of allowing our minds, I have found this in my own life, where it kind of rewires our brain a little bit, where we find ways, and we get excited to get creative about paying it forward, or doing our undercover kindness in a way that is really cool, right? That neighbor up the road that might be going through a hard time, that somebody you pass that looks like they're just bummed out at the grocery store, and you see where they get out of their car, and you slap on a Post-it note that just says, I hope your day gets better, and I want you to know that you are amazing. Our words truly can go far. We have people right now that are struggling, that are hurting, and that might be you. This, I believe, allows us to feel less isolated, less alone. You can mail Post-it notes to people without even saying who you are. Opening something up, because I know, we're all in different stages with socially distancing. It's getting creative. It's allowing ourselves to think, what can I do today that's going to make somebody else's life better? And we can be in places, there's people that are struggling right now big time with addiction, that their mental illness right now, they're, Era, I've never felt so sad before. I feel so disconnected from people with everything going on, or I'm overwhelmed and I'm anxious. And I will tell you, this will not fix everything. Okay, this is not what I'm saying, but I will tell you, when we put our minds in different areas of our lives that allow us to kind of find joy in different ways, this is a pure joy moment that can continue it on and on, that can assist and can alleviate some of these negative feelings that are just beating the heck out of people right now. And I believe that we can send messages and ways of encouragement to people that we know who are struggling, and find ways to encourage them. You're not alone. Help is out there. Know that I see you. Know that I care. Whatever the message that you want and you want to resonate, send it. And when we do it, where it's like nobody's going to know, it's really cool. I've spoken with people before that have been recipients of this, and they'll say, I don't know who sent this. There's an element of mystery, if you will. But every single one of them have said, this really hit me at the right time. Those words really encouraged me, and that person will never know it. And that person is somebody I appreciate, even though I don't even know who the heck they are. We can underestimate our abilities to encourage other people. Don't underestimate your abilities. God made you. There's no other you, and I say this a lot, there's no other you on the planet. And there are times we're going to hit in our lives that we kind of lose sight of that. We're in a funk, we're in a fog, we're feeling just like, holy smokes, and just we're not in a good place. This is one way for us to be able to reinforce to someone else that they're unique and they're beautiful, but for us to realize as well, we have the ability to really change somebody else's life. And that is super massively awesome. I want you to think about it, and I'd love to hear from you. What are some undercover means of kindness that you've thrown out there? What have you come up with? What have you done? What do you plan on doing? And I want to hear from you. Another one that I remember a friend of mine used to do, who lived in a city, when the parking meter, would go up, and I know a lot of them now are like by credit card, but would put a quarter in somebody's parking meter, just to extend their time a little bit. Nobody knew that they did it, but it was kind of their way of spreading undercover kindness. Super cool. Like, seriously, the options are unlimited. Your ability to kind of splash color goodness upon other people is really like, it's up to you. You can do it. And I know there are people out there that can come up with a bazillion creative ways and get excited about it. So let me know what you have been doing, what you plan to do. And kindness goes far. Goodness goes far. If you're in a funk, I need to let you know that you're not alone. Do not hesitate to reach out to somebody. We are stronger when we collaborate our efforts. We're stronger when we have a support network and we're encouraged by other people. In the past few months, just conversations, emails, texts, phone calls I've had with people, this is some really unprecedented times. We need to get creative in ways that we can encourage ourselves. We can do checks to know that we're okay. Am I in a good place? Am I not in a good place? And getting creative to strengthen our emotional wellness, to strengthen our outlook, our mindset, and also ways that we can kind of spread that encouragement and that strength to other people. And there is absolutely something magnificent about the power of kindness that does something to our mind, body, and spirit, that gets us excited to give, to go, to serve. There is a verse in the Bible that I cannot think of it verbatim, but where Jesus Christ says, when you give, it's doing with one hand without your other hand knowing. And it is the same exact thing, where it's not giving praise for what we're doing. Wow, I did this for this person, and expecting recognition. It's doing it discreetly, it's doing it humbly, and it's doing it, think about, my right hand's extended and giving money to somebody, while over here, my left hand is completely unaware. And that says so much. It's just doing and giving and extending and then going forward. And as human beings, sometimes we can have this struggle where we want praise, we want accolades. When we shift our mindset to just giving, no strings attached, giving in a kind of cool, undercover kindness kind of way, it does something to our brains, it does something to our outlook and our mindset that really changes us like crazy train. It changes how we look at life. It changes how we look at people, ourselves. We kind of get creative, and today's a new day. What can I do to do something pretty gnarly for somebody else? And I'll tell you, when you start kind of, and you don't have to talk about it, but like, when people kind of catch on a little bit, it's exciting, it's fun. It's kind of like, what can I do to get creative, to make somebody's today a little bit better? Their minute, their hour, their day, their week, their year. Boom. It's never too late to start making a difference, my friends, and to get on train of undercover kindness.